Welcome all. The topic is Distributed Computing System Models.
The various models used for building distributed computing systems are listed below. They are mini computer model, workstation server model, processor pool model, and hybrid model. So the different models which are used for building DCS are classified into 5 different models. So the first model is mini computer model, which is a simple extension of the centralized time sharing system. So, what is a time sharing system? It is a system in which multiple users are able to access a centralized system at the same time. So, this is a simple extension to that. It's a very simple model for distributed computing system, and it consists of a few mini computers interconnected by a communication network. And this mini computers, they may be large supercomputers as well, which is getting interconnected using this communication network. So with each of these mini computers usually will have multiple users simultaneously logged on to it, and for this there could be several interactive terminals which is getting connected to these mini computers through which the users can log in, and each user logged into a specific mini computer, and it has the capability to remotely access any other mini computers which is part of this particular network. So the network will allow a user to access the remote resources that are currently unavailable in his or her own machine but is available in a remote machine to which the user has access to. And so this mini computer model, it can be used when resource sharing, like sharing of information databases of different types, etc., with remote users are desired. So an example for mini computer model is ARPANET. It's an early ARPANET. It's an example for a distributed computing system based on a mini computer model. And we can see the diagram of mini computer model. N number of mini computers, which could be even supercomputers also, and which has got n number of terminals attached to it. Each such terminals can be used by the users to log into the system, and through the communication network all the mini computers are connected, and if a particular user wants to access a resource which is currently available in his or her own mini computer system to which he has logged in, it is possible to get the access, or it is possible to access that resource if it is there in any of the remote mini computers. We are able to access it remotely. Next one is workstation model. In the workstation model, it consists of several workstations interconnected by a communication network. And in this one, there are different types of workstations like disk-full workstations and diskless workstations. What is the difference between these two? A disk-full workstation means it has got its own disk and storage space, whereas diskless workstation means it doesn't have any disk. And so basically in the workstation model, they are disk-full workstations. And usually in a company office or a university department, they may have several workstations scattered throughout the building or campus. And this workstation model is to interconnect all these workstations by a high speed LAN. So it may so happen that There are different idle workstations. Usually the night time, these workstations, even if it is having processing capability and it has its own disk, it is kept as idle, most probably during a night time. But at the same time, if another user is trying to get something done using this model, and he doesn't have that, his particular workstation doesn't have that much processing capability, if that network is following a workstation model, it is possible to get the resource of the idle workstations. So these idle workstations may be used to process jobs of user who are logged on to other workstations and do not have sufficient processing power at their own workstation to get their job processed efficiently. And so the user log on to one of the workstations is called his or her home station, and he will be submitting the job for execution. And this one, if it doesn't have any sufficient processing power, it will be finding out the idle workstations in the network, and that processing capability will be taken, that process will be done, and that will be given back to the user in need. So this model is not so simple to implement because there are several issues involved. This, how does the system find an idle workstation? So there is a scarcity of resources for a particular user workstation. But how the system will find an idle workstation? How is a process is transferred from one workstation to get it executed on another workstation? What is the methodology? And what happens if a remote process, if a user logs on to the workstation that was idle until now and was being used to execute a process of another workstation? And so in order to implement a workstation model, we need to identify all these issues. Examples for workstation models are Sprite System and Xerox-PARC. This is a basic diagram for workstation model. As you can see, all the components in a workstation models are workstation, that too disk full workstations, which has its own processing capability and its own disk. Next is workstation server model. So workstation, if you remember the last slides, workstation model was a network of personal workstations which is having its own disk and local file system. So a workstation with its own local disk is called diskful workstation, and without a local disk is called diskless workstations. So the components of workstation model was mainly disk full workstations, since each was having its own processing capability and its own disk and local file systems. And diskless was without a local disk. And this diskless has become more popular because mainly due to the proliferation of high-speed networks. So even if it doesn't have its own disk and its own storage space, it is easy to access it from other resources due to a high-speed network without any delay. So this workstation server model, it consists of a few mini computers and several workstations, mostly diskless workstations, interconnected by a communication network. So the main components of workstation server models are mini computers and several majority of diskless workstations. So in a workstation server model, each mini computer, there are two types, there are mini computers and diskless workstations. So in this, the mini computer is used as server machines, and the server machines can provide various types of services like file storage service, database service, print service, and so on. Now, for reasons such as higher reliability and better scalability, multiple server machines can be involved for a particular type of resource. For example, one or more file servers may be used in a distributed computing system to provide file service to the users. So, multiple mini computers involved to provide a single service. So, we can say that the service is an abstract entity which can be provided by one or more servers. And one of the example where workstation server model is used is a vSystem. So this is the diagram of workstation server model. We can see a communication network which could be a LAN network, and it is connected by a different types of components like workstations and mini computers. As we discussed earlier, mini computers are working as server stations, and it can provide various types of services. And there are workstations through which the user will log in and will get their work done from the server mini computers. So now let's discuss some advantage of workstation server model comparing to the other models, especially workstation model. So in this one, this is more cheaper. How it could be cheaper than workstation model? Here in workstation server model, we are using few mini computers which is having large and fast disk, which is accessed over the network. It is much cheaper than a very large number of diskful workstations, with each workstation having small and slow disk, which is the case with workstation model. So few mini computers plus large number of diskless workstations, which is there in the workstation server model. It is more cheaper than a large number of diskful workstations which constitute a workstation model. The second advantage is it is from a system maintenance point of view. Your diskless workstations are preferred to diskful workstation from a system maintenance point of view, because backup and hardware maintenance are easier to perform with a few large disks than with many small disks scattered all over the building or the campus, which is the case with workstation model, because there are many diskful workstations scattered all over the model or all over that area where it is implemented. It could be a building or it could be a campus. So that backup and hardware maintenance will be tough when we compare to a small number of mini computers which is there in the workstation server model. So you need to do the backup and hardware maintenance only for that smaller number of mini computers, because the rest of the components in workstation server models are diskless workstation models. So no need of any backup or any hardware maintenance with that. The third advantage is users have the flexibility to use any workstation. How it is possible? Because in workstation server model, you have all the files are managed by the file servers. So the users can log in from any of the workstation in the system and can access the files in the same manner, irrespective of from which workstation it is currently logged on. But whereas in workstation model, each was having its own local system. So the user has to, if it has to access that local file system, the user has to log on to that particular system. Then the fourth one is there is a request response protocol. If something has to be executed on the server, that process need not have to migrate to that server and get it processed and then again coming back to the user. What they can do is, it is like a request response for the services of the server machine. This request response protocol is also called client server model of communication. So in this one, the client process, which because that client's process will be residing in any one of the workstations from where these users are getting logged. So here this client process, it will send a request to the server process. So where this server process reside, it is residing in the mini computer. Maybe it is asking for getting some service like reading a block of a file. The server will execute that request and it will send back a reply to the client. And what will be that reply? What will be the result? That will be containing that result of that request processing. So if it is requesting for reading a block of file, the result will be that particular block of the file. And so it is even possible for both the client and server process to be run on the same computer also. Moreover, some processes are both client and server process. That is, a server process may use the services of another server appearing as a client to the latter. So, as a conclusion, the same computer can act as server as well as client, because even the server can access for some resources from another server machine. So the server process may use the services of another server. So in that case, it will be appearing as a client to the latter. So it's very easy to get the job done in workstation server model by using simple request sending and receiving response. No need of any process migration. The fifth one is guaranteed response time. The user has a guaranteed response time because the workstations are not used for executing remote process. All the process is getting executed where it is getting executed in the server machines, which are mini computers. But there is some disadvantage involved in this one. What is that disadvantage? Here, the model is not utilizing the processing capability of idle workstations. I told you there could be workstations there could be disk full workstations also, but mostly it is diskless workstation in workstation server model, but there could be disk full workstations also. But the system is not doing anything to utilize the processing capability of idle workstations. Whenever a particular user needs something to be done, all the requests will be sent to only the server machines and not to idle workstations. So that are the various advantages and some of the disadvantage involved in workstation server. So the fourth type is processor pool model. So in the processor pool model, it is mainly based on the observation that most of the time a user does not need any computing power, but once in a while he or she may need a very large amount of computing power for a very short time. That is, there is a variation in the demand of the users. Sometimes they need very simple interactive work, and very rarely they may need a high intensity computing power. So in this case, for example, say when recompiling a program consisting of a large number of files after changing a basic shared declaration. So therefore, unlike the workstation server model in which a processor is allocated to each user, in the processor pool model, the processors are pooled together to be shared by the users as needed. So as and when required, for a particular user who demands a high intensity work, there will be a pool of processors. So that pool of processors will be allocated depending on the intensity of work which is demanded by a particular user. We will see the diagram. And here in the processor pool model, there are a large number of microcomputers and mini computers. So in this one, Here the processors in the terminals, they don't have any terminals attached directly to them, and the users access the system from terminals, which could be a diskless workstation or graphic terminal such as X terminals. So in this one, I repeat, the users are accessing the system from just simple terminals, which could be attached to the network via special devices. And whereas the processors in the pool, they don't have any terminals attached directly to them. So these terminals can be diskless workstations or graphic terminals such as X terminals through which the user will log in. Now suppose the user is requesting for a high intensity service. What happens is, in this server pool of server, there is a special server which is called as run server, and this run server will manage and allocate the processors in the pool to different users on a demand basis. And so this so as we discussed, in this one the user submits a job for computations, and it will be temporarily assigned to a server or a pool of servers by a special server called run server. So one of the difference or one of the advantage of this when you compare it with workstation server model is, you have a complete utilization of the entire processing power of the system, because in the server pool model the entire processing power of the system is available for the use by the currently logged on user, whereas this is not true for the workstation server model, in which the several workstations may be idle at a particular time, but they cannot be used for processing the jobs of other users. Because in the server pool model, you have a series of terminals which are just terminals, which doesn't have any processing power at all. They depend on a pool of servers. Whereas in the workstation server model, the other participating the systems in which the user is logged in, it could be diskless or diskful servers. So in that case, the system is not taking advantage of that idle workstations. Whereas in the server model, wherever there is a processing capacity, that has been used by the demanding users. And that's how it allows better utilization when you compare it with the workstation server model. And it has got a better flexibility also. So this is the diagram of processor pool model. We have lots of workstations here, which is just the terminals through which the user is logged in, diskless workstations or graphics terminals, and through special devices, this workstations or user terminals will be connected to the network and finally connected to the pool of processors. So the user demands for something sitting in the terminal, that which will be taken over by the special server called run server, and it is the run server which allocates a pool of processors depending on the processing demand of that particular job given by a user. The last one is hybrid model. As the name suggests, it combines the advantage of both workstation server model and processor pool model. So basically this is based on workstation server model, but with an addition of pool of processors. And it is expensive to implement than workstation server and processor pool models. Among all the models what we have discussed, Workstation server model is the most widely used one. That's because most of the they users that only perform simple interactive tasks such as editing jobs, sending electronic mails, or executing small programs. So this small interactive type of work, it is more efficiently done in workstation server model. The workstation server model is ideal for that simple usage. However, in a working environment that has group of users who often perform jobs like which needs massive computation and all, we can consider a processor pool model. So this hybrid model actually trying to combine the advantage of both these models, and it may be used to build a distributed computing system. This hybrid model may be used to build a distributed computing system combining the advantage of workstation server model and processor pool model. So here you have a set of workstations trying to get the services done from a different types of servers which does a particular type of service like file server, print server, etc. The processors in the pool can be allocated dynamically for computations that are too large for the workstations or that require several computers concurrently for efficient execution. So in addition to this efficient execution of computation intensive job, the hybrid model can give guaranteed response to interactive jobs also by allowing them to be processed on local workstations of the users, which is not at all possible in this processor pool model where the users are only using terminals. Every service will be done by the pool of servers. However, the hybrid model is the disadvantage of hybrid model is that it is too expensive to implement than the workstation model or the processor pool model. Thank you.